Her name was Furiosa.
Furiosa, yes.
And did they reference something called Fury Road?
I don't know that they did in the movie. No.
I feel like they did.
They might have. I don't remember that they did. What are you trying to say? Maybe they got the name from her?
Mm-mm.
Or what?
I don't know. It's weird because I looked for that in the movie.
Yeah. Well, I think that story, at least loosely, maybe, has been a thing for a lot of years. And it's just, it was supposed to already been made years ago. And it just never was. So.
Did you like the movie?
That's actually the second time I've seen it.
Did you like the movie?
Yes. No, actually, I'll tell you the truth, man. You know, you got your Avengers, you got your Ant-Man, you got your Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man, you got all these other movies and stuff, and then you got to go back. Like me personally, I go back to like RoboCop, Total Recall. You know, you got your 80s movies. A lot of people, even actually before then, a lot of people do your Star Wars. You got your Alien series, you know, Alien 1 and 2, you know, James Cameron, all that cool shit, right? Mad Max is definitely one of those king royalty, if you will, films of back in the day. You know, maybe not all three per se, but for sure the first and second one, you know, are royalty when it comes to films, and stand on a class of their own out here, you know, in a class of their own. And I kind of feel like this one is no different. To me, I don't know if you agree, that was a Mad Max film. Which is odd because it had almost nothing to do with Max at all. Like, he was just there. That movie was about Furiosa. That was her movie, basically.
That's true.
You know.
That's true.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. What do you think?
In the first... Oh, God, it's been so many years. In the first Mad Max...
Yeah, which was Mad Max.
Right.
It was just Mad Max, yeah.
Did it start out with like things being normal and then go bad, or?
Yes, that's what it was.
Okay,
the world was, I think, getting close to the brink of that, but it had not happened. There was not like an apocalypse yet. The apocalypse happened like towards the end of that film into the next film is what happened.
I got you.
Because they were like in the first Mad Max, like him and his family went and bought ice cream and shit.
That's right.
Yeah. Because that biker gang killed his wife and child at the end of the movie. Spoilers if you haven't watched a movie from like when was it? I don't know
Was it in the 70s?
I think it was in the 70s, yeah. It was a very long time ago. But dude, that's one of them movies though. Mel Gibson, fresh out of, it had to have been the 70s then. Fresh, like totally, like he got that film by going in and he had, like, it was a friend of his, he drove him to the audition, and Mel had been out the night before drinking and shit and got in a fight and had like a big black eye, and he was just there. He brought his friend in for the audition and they liked Mel. So he got the part, and he, like, I'm not sure if he was even per se an actor at the time. But they liked him. They're like, he looks rough, you know, this will be good. But that was such a low budget film, the original Mad Max, that they would steal road signs at night and stuff and like take them back the next day. Like they kept like stealing stuff and bringing it back because they didn't really want to steal anything. They just was borrowing stuff that they weren't allowed to. And the entire biker gang, which that was actually the main guy that was crazy. He was the leader. He was a thespian, you know, a very good actor there. And all those guys was like his thespian crew. And they, or at least a lot of them was. And then I think they paired them with a motorcycle gang, or they all had motorcycles or something, but they got them on motorcycles somehow. And they didn't have the money to get them down there. So they literally rode from like, I don't know how many miles, a long way, those motorcycles to where they're going to film. So by the time they got there, they probably didn't have to do any makeup because I'm pretty sure those guys looked like that by the time they got down there. But that's where the legacy is coming from for these films, you know. And then, of course, you know, then you have the second one, which was the Road Warrior. And that's after he's already started to lose it. You know, he's lost it, but he's still pissed. He's still strong. You know, he's had his leg ran over or whatever, you know. But that's the black leather jacket, the black car, and all that, you know. Australian Knight Rider, basically.
Yeah.
But, only not at all. But, and then the third one, of course.
Low-tech Knight Rider.
Yeah, low-tech.
All right, well, now that you've done a promo for the original Mad Max series.
No, I'm just saying.
Hey, do you know if Mel Gibson is still friends with that guy?
Both.
The guy that went in for the
no
audition?
idea. I was just trying to set up, I'm just saying where these films come from. So this film had, and I think it's the original guy that did it. Is the original guy that did the first film. Because
Oh, really?
the bad guy in Mad Max Fury Road is that crazy biker. I mean, the character isn't, but the actor is. So the crazy guy in the first one that killed Mad Max's family is Immortan Joe. Same guy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I think that's one reason why they chose never to really show his face.
Yeah.
Because he does have a specific look, even though he's so old now, you know.
Well, it's neat, though, that they kind of reused him.
The dude's cool, man. He's a thespian. But, like, I've heard people talk about him. They're like, when he does a role like that and plays crazy, like, it's scary because he can do it so well, you know. It's just probably like Heath Ledger in the Joker type thing, you know, like you believe
really
it.
Gets into the character.
Yeah, he's like a method actor. But yeah, man, this film to me holds up, you know, completely. Like I said, I've seen it twice. This is the first time you've seen it.
It's the first time I've seen it, and it literally, it was an adrenaline rush from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because when it came on, and it was like total calm, with like a little bit of an intro story, and then like had that little lizard. And if you'll notice how like he stepped on the lizard and crushed it, but then like he didn't really scoop it up. He more or less like flung his foot up.
Yeah.
And it was like stuck to his boot.
Yeah.
And he grabbed it and ate it.
Yeah.
Like that with the calm like dialogue that he had was kind of like you had a glimpse into his mind.
Yeah.
And it was him trying to create reason. Because he's batshit crazy. I mean,
absolutely. More than ever in this film. Like to the point of muttering to himself about things.
Like there's discussions going on. Yeah. With nobody else around.
No.
And but like that intensified the boom action.
Yeah.
You know? And you definitely noticed as this film went on that he was like battling the inner demons about his past.
Yeah.
You know, because clearly, without telling us, it was his wife and daughter.
That was at least part of it. It sort of pointed towards there was been a lot of people in his life that he's probably let down.
Right. Because,
you know,
every time that was like high intensity, he would like have these flashes of, you're supposed to save us. Where have you been? Where are you?
Yeah.
And I was seriously waiting on him, like, for the story to turn, and like he's on his own mission trying to get to these people to save them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but that's really not it. It's something that happened in the past that he can't get away from.
Yeah.
You know, but like the way that it was being told is like him reminding himself, "Crap, I need to get there and help them."
Yeah. It almost, yeah. Yeah, and but in the end, it did sort of did that. It flipped because in the end, they helped him. Because just like, you know, it showed several times the little girl kept going like this at him.
Mm-hmm.
And he would throw up his hand like this. Well, then at one point she does that and he goes like that and it saves him from an arrow.
Yeah.
And like this and like that, nobody can see what I'm doing.
Like,
well, yeah, but it would have went through his brain. Like he throws his, for those of you who can't see, he throws his hand, the back of his hand up to his head because the little girl like throws her hand out towards him. And like he has these little visions. They're like
flashback.
Post-traumatic stress stuff. But yeah,
what do you know how when you watch movies,
mm-hmm.
and they want to kind of give you an era feel of like when things happened,
like a time,
like
a year
time frame.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, in this film, I noticed all of the cars,
yeah,
were literally like 70s and older.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think that they were trying to put it back in the time frame
I would say so, probably.
of the 70s? Because every car that was in there was literally like either old hot rods or like just old coupes.
Yeah.
There was nothing modern.
I'm trying to think if there was anything that could have pointed towards anything modern, and I don't think so.
No, because even the monster trucks and stuff they had were old body.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were actual bodies, not fiberglass.
Right.
Yeah, so that might make it like
What was the budget?
1985 or something.
What was the budget on this film?
This one was a huge budget.
Was it?
This was a big budget.
I
yeah.
wonder if they...
As far as I know.
I wonder if they utilized most of that money to obtain those vehicles.
I don't know. That's an interesting question. I do know that the movie's been in production for a very long time. Like, I could be wrong, so don't quote me, but I want to say he shot this before, or at least part of this before he even did Bane, I think. Like, it's been in development hell, I think, for a long time. It took years.
Wow.
Because, now granted, they did shoot like probably 95% of it practical.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had setbacks and delays on things and reshoots. But I know it did take a long time, and the only special effects was like if a car flipped over, the car flipping over was real, but like the explosion or even sometimes the explosion was real sometimes, but like maybe like the engine on fire as it flipped over.
Right.
Sometimes was fake because it just wasn't safe to do.
But still, it would have been the same type of special effects they did back then.
Yeah, pretty close. They definitely didn't try to make something out of nothing. All they ever did was help practical stuff, really. That being said, they also did lots and lots and lots of incredibly dangerous stuff too. Like them people flying off the cars and stuff and hitting the sand out there, like they were doing that shit. Like those guys were taking hits and taking falls and leaping, and like it was nothing for people to get hurt out there. Like it happened a lot. So
this was a good movie for you to be a stuntman.
Yeah.
Because all they'd have to do is just put you in makeup and you'd fit right in.
Yeah, all they had to do
because there was so many like
powder
minions, you
yeah.
know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was pretty. Now I'll tell you this much. You know that brought me around. You know that there's a guy on. I'm telling this to the YouTube people. There's a guy. They call him the Doof Warrior. And he's playing the guitar. It's freaking insane. Everybody loves him. We've seen it everywhere. If you haven't heard about him, screw you because you There's no way you've been living on a rock, even if you haven't seen the movie. But that guy, pretty sure, is the guy that actually wrote the score for the film. Like, he's actually the sound guy. Like all the crazy, like, guitar playing and all the music and all that, like, he made that. That's why he did that role.
I can see that.
Yeah.
What was cool about his role was he was actually bungeed to the truck.
Yeah.
So, like...
He really wasn't standing, per se. He was just... And I think that's why, so he could be there all the time. Because they did it all practical. Like, they built that thing, from what I heard, they built that thing and they were like, we built this, and then the director is like, well, does it work? Can I hear it? And they're like, back to the drawing board, guys. He wanted it to work. He needed it to play. So, like, the guys on the back with the drums and him playing on the front, like, if you were there on the set of the day that they were playing, the dudes in the back are really beating them drums. He's really playing the guitar, and the sound maybe not made it to the finished movie, but you were hearing that score there, like he was playing guitar like that, probably most of the time when they showed it. So that's why it has a soul. You know, you can feel the soul in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
The music was really good. It was
different too.
It felt like war music, which is essentially what they were doing, you know?
Yeah. Well, the whole movie was just a big long chase with, like, times where they stop.
Uh-huh.
Even the very beginning, he was just stopped.
Yeah.
It's still a chase, you know?
It's true, yeah, because he hopped in the car and then there they were.
It was basically, how do you make a movie about a road, like just literally going down the road, turn around and come back? Like, that's the pitch for the movie. So we have Mad Max and this other chick, and they go down the road. You get this, wait for it. They turn around, and they come all the way back. Amazing. Good idea. Let's shoot that. What? But that's it. It works.
With the storytelling of it and how they came to, like, Max is like, if you want to fix your problem, this is what you do. Yeah, I think it's as simple as, the crazy guy figured it out. It's as simple as, drive down the road, turn around, come back. But the way that they told the story made it work. Speaking of the guitar guy, what's his name?
The Doof Warrior?
Doof Warrior. I was just flipping through just here recently and saw one of the, on the internet, they're like top 15 or top 20, whatever. And they had like cosplay costumes.
Yeah.
And there was a guy in that costume. And like the big deal was, does flames come out of the end of your guitar? And they never said. They just left it open.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, man. I don't think, safety-wise, I don't think he could be walking through a con with a flamethrower.
No. Now, I did see online somewhere, and I cannot remember where it was, they did build one that wasn't anybody to do with, they wanted to see if they could build it. And they did. And it was, they literally took a lawn burning flamethrower that you'd like buy at freaking Harbor Freight or something, and they tweaked it and put it on a guitar and everything to where you're just sitting there playing and you can hit like a button and it actually sounds kind of like it would be easier than you'd think to do, really. The hardest part would be getting it out far enough from the guitar not to burn the end of the guitar.
Not catch it on fire.
You don't want to pull a James Hetfield on it. I'm sorry, James. Oh, I'm sorry, James. Well, that's it. He was subscribed. Now he's not. Like James Hetfield sits around listens to our podcast.
No. I hope so. That'd be awesome.
Let me tell you what.
If he does, please, if you do, James, contact us. We'd love to have you on the show.
James, nothing else matters.
Sad but true.
Sad but true. I think we're probably unforgiven.
All right, moving on.
Give me food, give me fire, give me fire.
What?
That's the real words.
You remember when they were when they were driving? I forget where they were at. They were already being pursued and they get up to like the rocky area.
The pass. The pass.
Close
like
to the pass, yeah.
Okay.
Before they get there, though, and the people in the spike buggies have like the goggle like helmets on. They looked just like.
Oh yeah, from Star Wars.
From Star Wars.
Yeah, like you could see maybe one.
They look just like the Sand People from Star Wars.
Yeah, didn't those have a special name or something though? I can't remember.
What, the Sand People?
Yeah, but didn't they have like some other name other than just the Sand People?
I think Sand People.
Yeah, they're called the Sand People. No, but like he could have, one of them could have literally stopped the car and come through the sunroof and been like. Now, those of you listening, I want you to know, me and Tony both had both hands up in the air doing the Sand People Star Wars thing. Anyway, that was awesome. But no, that was totally. And if they didn't realize that, then that's majorly funny because that was so blatant to me anyway. It seemed like it. Maybe we're just nerding out. I don't know.
You said that Tom did this movie before he did Bane.
I'm not absolutely certain, but I feel like he might have because I know I've heard about this movie for years, but I could be wrong. So.
Well, that being said, do you think there was any inspiration for Bane's mask from this movie?
You know, either direction, possibly. You know, like...
Or vice versa?
Yeah, either direction, it's possible. I know it's very ironic that they would stick him in a freaking mask for half of the damn movie.
Yeah.
That was very reminiscent of what he actually wore in playing Bane. But another thing, talking about him being Bane, was at the end of this Fury Road, when they're coming back, like the really big son of Immortan Joe.
The guy that had the pack on his back with the filters on it?
Yeah.
And he had like
the
that leather
Gatling
strap
gun
on his face?
Yeah, and he has a name too, and apparently like people know of him too, like he's in the lore or the books or the comics or something. Like there's a lot of this that we don't know. It'd be cool to find out. Because I hear that there's a backstory and everything, and I think they've done it in comic books. But anyway, when he was fighting Max at the end, it was like, it's so weird because if you watch The Dark Knight, he was the big dude with the bald head that was slamming people down and shit. As Bane. And now a big bald dude is slamming him down as Max. I'm like, isn't it weird how they can... It's kind of like when you see Tom Cruise in a movie and he looks kind of tall. You're like, no, it's not even possible. They got him on at least 3 milk crates. So, a couple phone books. Anyway. Sorry, Tom Cruise.
We don't
Not
like
really.
you as much. We appreciate some of your stuff, but you're not allowed on our show.
Inadvertently,
I don't want you jumping on my couch.
inadvertently, I've got Tom Cruise and James Hetfield, so like they do intersect in that one, you know, for
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible, yeah. So maybe I'm subconsciously going that way, but
oh, that's awful! Drop my damn drink.
Oh, party foul.
Yeah. In the first Mad Max movie, because it was filmed in another country. Where is Mel Gibson from? Do you know?
Australia. He's Australian.
Is he from Australia?
Yeah.
All right, because I remember vaguely when I watched the movie, like it was weird when he talked.
Yeah.
You know, like it almost feels like he spoke weird, and it was recorded real funny, almost grainy.
Yeah.
It was cool that they kept that.
Yeah.
In this film.
Yeah, the sound was different than most movies, definitely.
Especially when he talked.
Yeah.
Like not only like arguing with himself quietly, but also like when he did speak, it was very almost robotic or like half there.
Yeah, very guttural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not necessarily broken English, but kind of like he saw that in the first movie when he was like practicing for this role.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm going to do something with that.
It went slightly caveman.
Almost.
Yeah. I think that definitely portrayed him being as crazy as what he was supposed to be.
Mm.
You know, I mean, it is Mad Max, so.
Yeah.
But played by Crazy Mel.
That did. Yeah, that fits.
It is a metaphor for itself.
What? Give me your opinion of the stilt walkers.
Oh, the ones we figured out were probably called the crows, or
Maybe.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Believe it or not, I think they, and this is totally speculation, they were probably Cirque du Soleil. Am I saying that right? The Cirque du Soleil people or whatever. That, because I think that's who they used to teach them, or it was them that actually did the pole people that were on the poles that would swing back and forth with the counterweight.
Yeah.
I think they were doing that. Now, again, I could be completely wrong, but that just looks like something that Cirque du Soleil would do, like people on them stilts, like walking like that, like really like artsy, weird things.
See, it made me feel like Dark Crystal.
Yeah, it was very Dark Crystal, The Labyrinth,
Very puppet type.
Return to Oz.
Oh, God.
Remember that with the Wheelers? Oh, that was creepy
Yeah.
as a kid, man. Like, that was...
But there was no description of it. There was literally one scene
Yep.
with
One shot.
those people in it.
Yep. So, I'm wondering if maybe a lot of the lore, because a lot of these movies are shot, and they've developed the lore all around them. It's just like Pacific Rim. Like, there's this huge, fat Bible that Guillermo del Toro... well, I can't say his name without my mouth filling up with like Tootsie Roll. The guy that made Hellboy. Elmo El Toro. That's not his name at all. Elmo El Toro. Elmo the Bull. No, he had this huge Bible for Pacific Rim, and they used like a teeny tiny bit of it for Pacific Rim. Like, they made all this lore. They might have done that with Mad Max as well. Like, and maybe they're just using lore over time. Maybe there is lore to that, and we don't know it.
Maybe they had. Oh, I'm pretty positive they probably had a lot of other stuff filmed in that sequence that was edited out.
Maybe.
Because
Like maybe there might be.
when they were driving eastbound to get to greener pastures,
Loaded up and trucking.
they spent a lot of time and emphasis on them being stuck in that muddy area.
Yeah, it really slowed down.
Yeah. Yet they had absolutely no emphasis on anything coming back.
That's an interesting point. Now, did they do that for story, or did they do that to cut time?
Probably time, but what I'm saying is they probably had a lot more stuff explained.
They have to
And
get
then
the
they're
tree
like, oh,
again.
this is a 6-hour movie. Shit, we gotta fix this.
That's-
Okay, the whole return scene, just cut it.
Yeah. And it was actually them getting stuck again, and they pull the tree the other way, stand it back up. You know, shit like that. Mad Max goes over there to one of them crow walking guys and just kicks it out from under him. He just falls in the mud. Max is like, what are you doing? Weird pole walking guy, whatever.
Pole working guy.
Yeah.
Hey, pole working guy.
Those weird crow people. It was very like all the stuff. But that's another thing too that I felt like they're going for redemption, and I think the story, that was the drama of the story.
Well, it
was him
wasn't
and her.
It wasn't necessarily. Well, I guess it was for her, for Furiosa. It wasn't necessarily redemption yet, until they discussed it later on.
Right, but I mean, both of them, that's why they're in this world the way they are. That's why they're not dead.
Right.
They actually don't care about their own life at all, really.
Right.
Aside from just the guttural, like, animalistic, I gotta survive. Like, I don't think Furiosa and Max, Furiosa and Max, I don't feel like they deserve to live. But their instinct to live is so strong that they've never been able to be killed. Does that make sense?
It does.
So, but I think this is cool. Let's see if you agree with me. The whole movie is like a metaphor for their lives. You go all the way out and find that there's nothing out there that you thought you were gonna find. And you come all the way back, but you had to go out there to come back home and realize you already had it.
That being said, why did he leave at the end of the movie?
I think he made progress.
Or he's afraid of commitment.
He's like, I do not want a one-armed bitch.
No.
No,
Hey,
she
why-
was awesome.
Why do you think they made her one arm like that?
Honestly, and
To make her more empowering?
Well, nobody take me wrong. I'm disabled myself, but I think when it comes to these films, like the weirder, the uglier, the like off-center, like not stereotypical people, the better. And I think if she would have, think about it like this: if she would have had both of her arms, both of her legs, and just had short hair and acted like a badass, I don't think it would have been nearly as impactful. Because, I don't know how she lost her arm, and it might be in the comic books or something.
I don't know.
But it's funny that she's driving a truck where your left arm is out the side, and that's the arm she's lost. So, to me, I, in my mind, are like, she's so badass, she's lost her arm driving that truck in a different story we don't know about.
You think it's cool how they painted an arm on
Painted
the
the
door?
arm. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe that's pointing towards that, But I think it's badass that they did that with her. Like, I think it is empowering. And I've heard that there are women, and men for that matter, out there that have lost limbs and stuff, felt really good watching that, because at no point did anybody cater to her, or
No,
did
Lord,
she
no.
ever feel like she was less
Right.
without it. In fact, she over and over and over showed that she was actually better at things than everybody else, even Max.
Mm-hmm. And she showed that she didn't need her arm. She removed it numerous times during the movie.
Oh yeah, she used her nub she punched people with her nub. She stopped some of the girls with her nub, like, and it wasn't weird at all. Like, it was just that, I'll joke about it, but it wasn't weird at all, So, but yeah, I think that was really cool.
Like, shout out real quick. You should probably put like a link to the T-shirt design that you did.
Oh yeah. I'm not entirely sure how legal that is, but I did that awesome design. I think is an awesome.
Yeah,
design.
I mean,
So
do it, dude.
yeah, I can put that on there.
For those of you listening, Carl did a T-shirt design with Furiosa on it.
Yeah,
Put a link up. You can go check it out.
yeah. She
When they got there
yeah.
and they met up with the older ladies,
Mhm.
the music changed.
Yeah.
Very, very impactful. It changed the whole feel of the movie. And in that moment of the movie specifically, you could really tell that even when you weren't paying attention, the music was driving the movie, because literally they were in a desert the whole time.
Yeah.
You know? So camera angles and music really drove that.
It was so barren, it was almost claustrophobic. It's where there's so much space, you almost feel like you're packed in a little ball because there was nothing there.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why they had a lot of close, tight visuals.
Unsettling feeling about the whole thing. But yeah, I mean when they got there and met the older women, I mean that changed everything. You know, the whole, I mean that was literally them turning around. You know. I probably just made a bunch of noise on my mic. I touched my mic, it was probably like
Or it didn't make any noise and you just made all that racket and it sounds horrible.
oh.
Hey, what
Chicken
kind
or
of,
the egg?
what kind of car was he driving?
If it's the same as the original, it's an Australian car.
Oh.
Because I know that the people that have replicas of at least the original one, they have to get them cleared for here because the steering wheel's on the wrong side and all that.
I thought it was cool how they did the whole steering wheel thing in this movie.
Yeah. Oh, all the things like that. The symbols on their belt buckles and the Morton Joe logo with the flaming skull. And they worship the V8. They're putting their fingers together, doing the V8 sign I pointed out to you.
Yeah.
Like they got to where they were actually doing that on, like, that was like what they would do. Like the day would start and they would get out there and get fired up to each other. You know, V8, V8, V8. They'd really do that in the film from what I hear. And that's why they always had high energy and stuff. Like they got to, like they were playing that part, like they get to believe in it, you know, while they were there. So, but yeah, man, that freaking, who would have ever thought of that all the steering wheels and stuff are removable? I mean, like racing steering wheels, I guess, you know.
Isn't that cool?
And they all were different.
Yeah.
You know, it was almost like your own little trophies or something, you know, like that's the car I'm driving. And all the the cars in that, like, I would love to just, I wonder if they have ever done this or if maybe they couldn't, but it'd be awesome if they just had like a car show, just had all the vehicles,
All of those. Let's go check them out.
and you just go, you know, like a car show.
That'd be cool.
That is if they didn't destroy half
All of them.
Yeah, or all of them. I know that they had 2 of the monster trucks that went over that he ended up flipping.
Yeah.
They had one supposedly that was geared different so that it could be out there running really fast.
Right.
And then they had another one that was geared really low to crawl over those rocks that it went over. Because they had a couple shots where it was having to go and jump and all that kind of. I think the jump might have been the fast one actually. So, but that was cool. I love monster trucks. So, no, the cars and the idea that they, like, I never thought that I would see something so over the top, more crazy and more cool than the original ones. Like from like.
It seems like when they made this, they made that commitment. Like, we've got to go big.
Yeah.
And not just like, oh wow, they went big.
Yeah.
We got to go so big that
it's ridiculous. Oh yeah. What did you think about, like, they're almost being themed, like, towns, or not almost, literally themed towns? There was Gas Town, Bullet Town, and I guess where they're at was probably, like, water, you know, the place where the water comes
probably
from.
water and food where they were at, because
Yeah, water, food.
that's where the vegetation was and the
gas,
water and
bullets.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it his extended family that led each town? Were they all brothers?
It's a good question, because the one guy did say all this over a family feud or a family issue or something like that, but it might have just been he meant between him and his wives and Morton Joe.
Because at one point they seemed like, oh, we don't want to be here for this crap. It's a waste of our resources. But then he's like, I'll go get her. And he went out to go get her for him, you know?
Yeah.
Because he was having car trouble or whatever. And that's when he took off in his little tank car.
If there was anything I would say is kind of weak sauce, it would be that. Like, what is the motivation? Although, Morton Joe, like, if he's the guy that's supplying the food and water,
Maybe you
like,
need to
that's
make him happy.
all of the and it did feel like he was still the top dog, even from those guys.
Right.
So maybe he was like the king, and those were like, what would it be under that? Like, what's just under a king over the land? Is it a bishop?
No.
Or is that chess? Big question marks everywhere, all over my head.
Yeah, I don't know. I
You know
guess
what
it
I
was
mean,
okay. I think. I mean, they told the story. Okay, that's Bullet Town. You know, that's Gas Town. You go there to get your gas. You go there to get your bullets. What about everything else?
Like, they need another town that's like, this is Slurpee Town.
You know,
Go there to get gas, go there to get bullets, go over there to get Slurpee. Like, basically, in their universe, QT has been broken up into several gas, bullets. Well, maybe you don't get bullets there. If it's in a bad neighborhood, maybe. And Slurpee's over there. No, but I would like to have seen more in those other towns, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, they talked about it. They never.
Well, that being said, I've heard that I believe that they're signed on for 2 more films.
Oh, okay, so it's going to be another 6 years before we get the next one.
I don't know because if they...
How well did this one do in box office?
I want to say it didn't tank, but it wasn't like a huge hit. You know? So far. But, you know, I think they're starting to count sales on the back end, like DVD sales and Blu-ray sales. So, you know, once those numbers start rolling in, that makes a difference too. It's just like they're doing another Pacific Rim.
Right.
And Pacific Rim tanked way harder, you know.
Yeah, but it acquired a huge following later.
Oh, huge. Which is sort of sad because Dredd, there's no chance of Dredd 2 being made. Which, you know, that was our first movie cast. But there's reasons why that film Dredd was actually financed through several like if I'm not mistaken, Indian companies, like from India, because the guy that made it, like, he's Indian. Like, he's actually like, he looks like the Crow. Like, if the Crow was like an Indian guy, like from India, that's how he, like, I think he grew up in California though. Like, he's totally Americanized, you know, and everything. But he wears like crow makeup all the time. He's just like this weird rock star guy.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. He also did that short, like, was a 10-15 minute film about it was fan fiction that he did of the Power Rangers. And like, it was a big deal. It got taken down and then it got put back up because it was for free. He made it was a personal film for him. Like, he just did it for fun. And but he's the guy that did Dredd. And he actually did a whole video on why Dredd 2 is not going to happen.
Huh.
So
I'll have to look at that later.
I think he's the type of guy that if the guy was George Miller would not be able to do more Mad Max stuff, I think that guy would do a good job too. The guy that did Dredd, like,
right.
Like that universe, that, like, well, here's why. Heavy Metal Magazine, like, this movie Fury Road, looks like it's straight out of the pages of Heavy Metal Magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
anything and everything would fit. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, to me, Dredd, which I think Dredd's been in Heavy Metal before, but that's 2000 AD, which is another magazine in Europe. Like
right.
that. Or, yeah, over there. But totally felt like that. Like, a lot of the sets, and they might have been paintings, just felt like paintings to me. Like, especially with the water coming down and all that, and the green on the top, you know, where they were at, the home base. That just all, like, felt like it would be right in one of those magazines. So
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I bet you the comic books of all this is just beautiful. If it's done by the right artist. There's so much material there to work with.
It has to be done really well because I mean, how are you just going to draw desert?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've seen some pages of Heavy Metal magazine, a couple older ones I've got, that has kind of scenes like that, and they like sort of splatter paint them with airbrush.
Yeah.
And then like a car or a truck, like in this one there was a big semi, and they made the semi like really edgy and awesome, and it just stood out because and they did the same thing through snow and all kinds of stuff. But I think maybe at some point we should check out the comic books and see if there's another more.
We'll have to look into it. Yeah.
But if you ever get the chance to see this one in the theater, like, I don't know how long it'll be around, or if it's still around, or dollar theaters or wherever. Definitely when it's out on Blu-ray, whatever, there would be a buy. But I think it would. I think it's one that you should see in the theater as well. So it's big. It's a very big film. But
yeah, Mad Max's Fury Road is a really good film for theater. I'd like to have it on Blu-ray, and I'd like to have all the scenes that go with it, like
there's got to be more
deleted scenes or like behind the scenes.
I
would love to have all that.
Mm-hmm.
Get a lot of good information and entertainment from that.
Maybe like a making of.
The making of, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be really cool.
Definitely.
Maybe have some, like you were saying, instead of a car show, have some behind the scenes of the cars and show how because clearly all of those vehicles worked.
Yeah, they did. They totally did. I would like to see stuff about the company or the companies that built them.
Mm-hmm.
Or even if it was that, maybe they were in-house. Maybe they were built by the production crew. I don't know, Probably a lot of them people are, but it's probably something like what they did, like, Tim Burton, Batman, Batmobile. They probably went to people that build strange cars.
Right.
And said, hey, we need about 12 cars, design them. This is our idea. And then they let them do it, So.
Well, I liked it. I definitely recommend it.
Yeah. Very, very cool. Very good. So, I guess our recommendation is to see it rather than not see it. And you can quote me. Such an idiot.
Right on.
I wonder if I can do this without sounding stupid again. It's going to sound like you're taking bong hits.
It's fine. I have a question.
What's the name of this weed?